He insulted us, then turned around and celebrated us. And somehow, we're expected to move on like nothing happened.
Pause and really sit with that.
In just 7 days, one of the most powerful leaders in the world revealed something deeply troubling and then tried to override it with a performance. Day 1. He publicly shared an AI-generated video portraying Barack Obama as an ape. Not a disagreement. Not criticism of policy. A dehumanizing image rooted in one of the oldest and most painful racist tropes in history. And alongside him, Michelle Obama, a highly accomplished lawyer and former First Lady, was reduced to the same depiction. This wasn't accidental. It wasn't hidden. It was posted openly. Now, fast forward just 1 week. That same leader stands in the White House hosting a Black History Month celebration. Cameras flashing. Speeches about unity. Praises about Black excellence. Handshakes and smiles broadcast across the world. And the question becomes unavoidable. What changed in 7 days? Because the people didn't change. The history didn't change. The truth didn't change. Only the presentation did. And that's where the tension lies, between what is shown and what is done. The moment became even more significant when Tim Scott, someone widely seen as an ally, stepped forward and called it out directly, describing it as one of the most openly racist actions to come from that administration. When criticism comes from opponents, it's expected. When it comes from within, it carries a different weight. It suggests that the issue isn't just political disagreement. It's something harder to dismiss. And then there's the deeper contradiction. On one side, imagery that strips away dignity and reduces individuals to something less than human. On the other, a public celebration claiming to honor the very people who were just disrespected. Those two things don't align. They can't. Because respect is not something that turns on and off depending on the audience. It isn't something that exists only under bright lights and prepared speeches. It shows up in actions, especially the unguarded ones. That's why so many people focused on the timeline itself. 7 days. Not enough time for reflection. Not enough time for accountability. Just enough time for the moment to pass and the narrative to shift. And in today's world, where everything is documented, that contrast becomes even sharper. People saw both moments side by side, the post and the celebration, and drew their own conclusions. No explanation could fully bridge that gap. Because at its core, the issue isn't just about one post or one event. It's about what happens when actions and messaging collide so directly that the difference becomes undeniable. It raises larger questions. Can public gestures make up for private or prior actions? Can celebration erase offense? And how should people respond when the two exist at the same time? History shows that symbolic acts, celebrations, speeches, public recognition can carry meaning. But they lose that meaning when they are disconnected from consistent behavior. When that happens, they risk becoming performances instead of genuine expressions. And people notice the difference. That's why this moment resonated so widely. Not just because of what was done, but because of how quickly it was followed by something that seemed to contradict it completely. The closeness of those two events didn't soften the impact, it intensified it. Because instead of replacing the first moment, the second one highlighted it. And once people see that kind of contrast clearly, it's difficult to unsee. What remains isn't just outrage or reaction. It's a lasting question about authenticity, accountability, and whether actions truly reflect the values being publicly expressed.